Are you going to go see Snow White?
No.
No?
No.
Tell me why.
So I am not typically one of those people that get offended over movies. I don't care what somebody wants to do to change a movie. But I was hearing a lot of controversy over the new Snow White. And I said, all right, why are people up in arms? And I keep seeing this. It's too woke. It's too woke. And I said, all right, why are people saying that? So I started looking into it, and people are having issues with it because Snow White is Latina and comes from a part Latin, part, I can't remember what her other parents' nationality is. But they don't like that it's not true to the main character. In fact, she's called Snow White originally because of her pale skin complexion. But in the new Snow White, she's called Snow White because she was born during a blizzard. In the original, she was looking for love and found this prince. In the new one, she's not about love. She's leading some conquest against the queen, and she falls in love with a poor thief. They were even afraid of being offensive to little people and dwarfism. So they made the dwarfs CGI instead of casting real people. And there were all these precautions. And the more I'm reading, the more I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. And then I could still say, do I care? Do I honestly care? Or will I go see this new adaptation? And then I saw the main character, Rachel Ziegler, went on a rant on social media. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
And again, I normally don't care if a celebrity chooses to endorse a candidate. I don't care. I just don't. Taylor Swift came out for Kamala Harris. Okay, good for you. I don't care. I don't care who you vote for. But when she wrote, I hope that all Trump supporters and anybody who voted for him never find peace. F Trump. I went, you could have even just said F Trump and I wouldn't have cared. You could have said, I hope Trump never finds peace and I don't care. But you personally attacked other people. I'm just done. No, I'm not seeing this film. Like, you're so up in arms about changing everything. You're getting so let me pussyfoot around every single issue. And that's just getting annoying to me. And now you got to be this big, dumb political blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't need to see this movie. I'm not giving my time and attention to something that's getting just so ridiculous.
They could have simply had a focus group and said, all right, as a moviegoer who's likely to go see movies, you could pick A or B. A, do you like it when you come into the movie theater and someone kicks you square in the nuts? Or B, do you like to watch a movie that tells a good story and has virtue wrapped around and makes you feel like a better person when you leave? A or B? And people are going to say, I don't know, the nuts thing sounds appealing in a certain way, but I'm going to go with B. And then the movie producers are going to be like, oh, should we make the movie we want to make to kick people in the nuts? Or do we want to just put a good product out there that people are going to feel good about seeing? Yeah. I think I'm going with A, even though nobody said they like being kicked in the nuts. I'm going to do that one.
Yeah.
And so I cannot take this oblivious, unintellectual, stupid behavior and give them $1. Like, it's not even about whether or not it might be a good story and whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't want to reinforce and make more really terrible, awful woke movies. This one needs to die on the vine.
I saw a reel on Facebook. It was a snippet of the original Snow White, the animated film, where the prince leans over and kisses her and she wakes up from this kiss. And it said, she deserved better. First of all, it was a whole idea and a whole discussion about kissing without consent. And then it was, all she was is just looking for love and finding a prince. And all of a sudden he kisses her without consent. And now she's awake and that's her whole life. And she deserved better. I'm like, she isn't real. This is not real. This is a movie. She doesn't deserve anything. She's a cartoon. And the fact that this is such a big deal is why I'm like, you've all lost your freaking minds. It was a cartoon from whatever flipping year, where back then that was a feel-good film. It was a happy ending. It's not until 2025 that we all lose our mind over anything that's remotely offensive or anything. And now you're like, she deserved better, as though this is a real person we're talking about. Like, it's so stupid that's why I'm like, I'm out. I'm off this freaking Ferris wheel. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, and honestly, the character swaps and the dwarves, all of that, if I know about it, then I can't get over it that something was forced in for some kind of woke ideal. Right?
Yes.
If you casted someone that just doesn't fit as long as it doesn't obstruct from the storyline that I know and I love and I want, if I can't get over that detail of like, you are kicking me in the nuts with the messaging. There have been adaptations that have swapped into different roles, and sometimes the swapping was better than the original, and it was never pushed in my face that they did it to piss me off as the viewer. I'm like, oh, that's an acknowledgement. That was way better than it was before.
Yeah.
But the end product is it has to be better, right? And then we won't notice that that's what you did on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, there was Snow White and the Huntsman with Kristen Stewart. Was technically Snow White, but a totally different story. Sure. And I said, all right, going in, I know what this is. It's using the term Snow White, but it's a totally new adaptation with a totally different storyline. I'm fine with that. But yes, when you purposely push an agenda with the changes to something, that's when I'm like, come on, I just wanted a feel-good story. And why does everything got to be political? Why does everything got to be under a microscope and cause a fight? And like, oh, it's exhausting. Yeah. Dennis.
So go ahead.
Oh, so it's worse than the girl Ghostbuster. Got it.
So Rachel Zegler, in the future, if she ever is an actress ever again, in her contract, there's got to be a line in it that says, shut your mouth from the time that you are announced that you're in this role to way after we've made our money back, or you get $0 and we will sue you into oblivion, because that was the dumbest thing she could have done.
She did. And then she took it down and posted an apology. And she's like, I let my emotions get the best of me. Our country is very divided right now, and I certainly don't want to add to that narrative. Okay, so did your PR person make you write that? Because you can hate Trump all you want, but when you say Trump voters, specifically, if I am a Trump voter, guess what? Trump didn't say something mean about me. You did. You said something mean about me. You wished ill will on me.
It was not a good gamble.
Oh my God, it's so dumb.
Let's see. They're not on track to break even. Hollywood perverts everything these days. And Dennis says $5 says she ends up on OnlyFans. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
How did you feel about the live action Little Mermaid with Halle Berry? You didn't see it? See, that I didn't mind as much. To really go back and remember. I know I saw it.
Halle Berry's freaking hot. Like, I'd love to see her in a little
you know what? It's
outfit.
Not. You know who I'm talking about.
What?
There's Halle Berry, and then her name sounds like Halle Berry, but this was Halle Berry, something, the younger girl.
Oh, all right.
Okay, not Halle Berry, the older actress, Bond girl. This was a younger actress.
You had me set up. I was going to go see the movie today.
Very similar name, very similar sounding name, but I don't think it's who you're thinking of.
Okay.
But she's a very pretty girl. But yeah, same thing. Ariel was a Caucasian redhead, and this actress was not. To me, I didn't mind. She had a beautiful voice. She sounded like Ariel. They stuck to the storyline for the most part. Was it possibly agenda pushing? Probably, but I don't know if it was to the extent that it bothered me. I think Snow White bothers me because
I don't remember hearing anything about it. I just might not have been paying attention. If they let it go under the cover of it's just a theatrical thing, but if it emboldened them to go further down that road of taking and saying, like, doing a movie about, the founding fathers and making them all of a specific race, just a thumb in your eye, where they were trying to getting far away from the narrative on purpose versus just happen to cast somebody that was a different ethnicity because they were the better part in that role. That's a completely different story. What I think, I have seen actors and actresses that played roles in movies that I know are counter to how their real beliefs are. They played a role because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Now, I don't necessarily think you can get an actress that's a feminist, right, to play in a role that then threatens her brand of being a feminist. You are an actor. Like, I support you in your role to play that character, not who you are outside of that character. And I think a lot of people are emboldened and they're really cocky that we care who they are on the outside.
Some people were mad over Jennifer Lopez as Selena. You remember the movie Selena from the 90s? I love Selena. But she was not the same background as Selena. She looked like her. She could sing. So to me, she did a good Selena. But do you think it's important that, like, if a character is Puerto Rican or Mexican or whatever they are, should the actor that plays them also be Puerto Rican or Mexican or Caucasian
if
or
it
whatever?
takes away from the storyline and if it's distracting, you should put a product together that viewers like and want.
Thank you, Julie. Bailey. That's what I was like. It's Halle Bailey was the name.
Halle Bailey.
Thank you. Sounds like Halle Berry.
You guys just saved me from going and seeing a movie only to see my girl Halle Berry.
Yeah, because you would have.
I would have been disappointed.
Not seen Halle Berry. Yeah. Dennis, I don't think a movie could have been made in Hollywood for the last decade without some woke agenda or message.
Yeah. Again, serving the minority and alienating the majority is just it's business stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. In this whole effort to, again, feel like you're doing something good, like we're being inclusive, like Rachel Ziegler's like, never would I've ever imagined I could play this role. And it's so great that a girl like me could play this role and other girls can see someone like me playing this role. And I'm like, that sounds all good and nice and wonderful, but
you're not an authority. I don't want to hear what you feel about things. I want you to do the freaking movie and entertain me.
Yeah.
That's what is a movie? Is it, you know, like when I think back when I was a kid and movies had a hero that was willing to sacrifice himself for a higher ideal. You had a hero, you had a villain, it's what we expect from it. You want to be entertained and feel like you want to be a better person when you leave that place. You want to be motivated. And maybe that was just at the time, that was the way to go. All your TV shows were that way. All your movies were that way. Some of your music was that way. And now it's not that. They're meant to shock you. Like I was almost thinking that this movie would do really well because it got more headlines. And I'm thinking maybe that is a good play where you make it shocking, you make it controversial. So then people go see it to see what you were controversial.
The only bad publicity is no publicity.
Right. And so maybe the early ones, it had that shock value that had bigger box sales. But now it's been so overplayed, it's not as shocking, and we just hate it. Like we just turn on the people who produce this stuff that kick us in the nuts.
Yeah, and I think that's what people are seeing is they're so sick of the crap. And then, of course, one side's going to say, oh, what are you, racist? Or you're just intolerant of other kinds of people? Or are you just a bigot? Is that why you don't want to see a white girl in this? And it's like, that is the bullshit I'm talking about. It's a movie. I want to be entertained. I want to just go and have fun and leave real life of politics and fighting behind and enjoy myself for an hour and a half. And if it feels like you are now taking my hour and a half entertainment window and still pushing a political agenda or still pushing your ideas on me and your ideals and your way of thinking, that's when I get irritated.
All right. We're forming an LLC right now.
Okay.
And we're going to start a business. And when we go see a movie that someone else wants to give us a message, we send them an invoice and then they pay us to get their message. The other way around, if you provide something I want, I will pay for it. If I am suffering through something you want me to know, you pay me for it.
Yeah.
I think that's a better model.
Yeah. If you truly just wanted my time because you needed to share your thing with me and you wanted to influence me, all right, I'll listen to your spiel.
All kind of part-time people will go around from theater to theater getting exposed to the information you want us to have, not the other way around. That'll be the way to handle it.
Justin said, no one was upset that an African-American woman played a green woman in Wicked, or were they? I wasn't.
It was just a terrible movie. Like it was just gone off.
But yeah, and that's to my point, when everyone wants to talk about, oh, you're just intolerant of other races or other people. Again, I don't care if Elphaba was played by an African-American woman. She was a great actress and she was a great singer and she could play that role. Like he said, she's green. Who cares? It was fine. Again, Halle Bailey as Ariel. I would have loved to seen a redhead. I think one of the perks of Ariel was her beautiful red hair, but I thought she did a good job. Didn't bother me. It's when, it feels like it's pushing this narrative that it starts to bother me.
There were some, like, when I leave a theater and they pick out like the Johnny Cash movie, and I'm thinking, man, that person played the character really well. Napoleon, the Abraham Lincoln.
Those are the same actor, by the
No,
way.
he's so
You
good.
like Joaquin Phoenix?
So good, so good. But anyway, like when I leave the theater thinking, man, they nailed that freaking role. There in the movies where I'm thinking that they didn't play all the good role or the movie was terrible, then I kind of mock it the whole way through, and it's not enjoyable at the end because all I did was pick it apart. That I was like, that's what you decided to put on the screen. That was the laziest contribution I've ever seen.
Yeah. Have you seen the Joker films yet?
I have not. They're terrible.
Oh,
The singing one is awful.
Okay, that's the second one. I think you would really like the first one, and then the second one. It would be interested to see your take on
I started the second one, and he's singing down the stairs. I was like, oh, gone.
First.
Gone.
You never saw Joker and you started with that one?
I did. It was awful.
Oh, the original was just on TV last weekend. Watch that one, especially if you like Joaquin Phoenix. I'd love to see your take on that one first, and then your take on the second one.
Well, I think it's, I don't even know what ism this is going to be, but because it's not Jack Nicholson is why I hated this one. So would that be actorism?
Actorism. You're actor bigot. What about Heath Ledger?
I do like Heath Ledger in other
That
movies.
was my favorite. That was my favorite Joker.